Language experts in Nigeria are raising alarm over the rapid disappearance of hundreds of indigenous languages across the country. They warn that many local tongues are fading fast, especially among young generations who rarely speak them anymore. Trust TV's Musa completes a report from Jos.
Linguists classify endangered languages by their level of decline from definitely to critically endangered. In Nigeria, the threat is growing. Social and cultural pressures, such as negative attitude toward native languages, migration from rural to urban areas, and preference for English or Hausa have made many local tongues to lose value and speakers. In Jos, some residents share how this shift is affecting their native identity.
I'm Biram by tribe. I do speak Hausa or English to my children because I'm not used to my language. I grew up in the Hausa area, and sometimes they do tell us that we should speak English to the children because they will go to school and speak English.
Coming to the city now, you get to meet people who are not of the same language with you, and you can't just communicate with them with your own native language because they are not your language, and then they don't even understand your language, and you don't also understand their language.
I'm Fem by tribe.
Okay.
I do speak Fem, but not fluently. Maybe due to the environment I find myself in. Fem people are not that many. So apart from my dad and my mom, we hardly speak with other people using the Fem language.
For Professor Judith Adaku, a sociolinguist at the Federal University of Wukari, the survival of indigenous languages depends on the people themselves and the support they receive from their communities and leaders.
The government policies that favor some languages as against other languages contribute to language endangerment. In particular, smaller language groups do not appear to get the attention of government. And in some instances, where we have language policies, for example, we have the language provision in the National Policy on Education that a child should be taught for the first 3 years in the mother tongue or the language of the immediate community. Government appear not to enforce that policy. So the result is that in quite a good number of schools, children are taught in English from primary 1 to primary 3. The teaching and the learning in the English language affects negatively the use and the development of indigenous languages.
She believes the solution lies in a collective effort.
Everybody has a role to play. When we come to understand the importance of language to a people, we will all be committed to the development of the indigenous languages in Nigeria. Every Nigerian has to speak the indigenous languages. This should reflect in our naming patterns. This should reflect in our cultural practices. This should reflect in our use of indigenous languages in our daily life. The community's leaders could start by organizing groups to develop the writing system, the orthograph of the languages, especially for languages that do not have orthographs. Again, the community leaders can organize language revitalization projects, language development programs. Community leaders can organize the development and the documentation of different aspects of the language and cultures of the people.
According to Professor Judith, governments at all levels must design language policies that protect both dominant and minority languages. Community and religious leaders, she says, should also promote local language use in schools, worship, and social life. Professor Judith adds that keeping smaller languages alive is not only about communication, it is about preserving history, identity, and Nigeria's cultural wealth. Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.